Hi guys, it's Steph here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would share with you some books that I found in my parents' shed that belong to me because I was asked to go through a box of books that had my books and my dad's books in them and to clear some of them out and decide which ones I wanted to bring with me. And I actually found a few books that I thought I'd lost, which is incredible. So I'm really super pleased. And I thought I would share it with you because it will give you an insight into what I read before I started on BookTube. And in fact, a lot of these books are books that I read 10 or more years ago. So without further ado, I'm going to just show you what they are, and if I've got an anecdote to share about them, I will. The first two books that I'm going to share with you are The Key to Rondo and The Wizard of Rondo, and these are both by Emily Rodda. I don't think I actually got around to reading The Wizard of Rondo, but I read The Key to Rondo and I absolutely adored it. I actually even read it to a year 4 class when I was on teaching rounds. It's just a great middle grade fantasy series, and I'm actually really curious to get back to rereading these at some point just to remember what they were about. Black Hawk Down by Mark Bowden, which I bought because I saw the film and I wanted to read the book that the movie was based off, even though it was based off real world events. And I think, did I finish reading it? I think I did finish reading it. It was a long time ago, but I just wanted to hold on to it because this was one of those books that I had been really interested in reading. I also have Portrait of a Killer by Patricia Cornwell, which was her look at or exploration of the Jack the Ripper myth. I didn't actually finish this book. I got about halfway through it, so at some point I'm going to have to come back to it and pick it up. This is completely random, and it is An Evening at Joe's, a collection of Highlander short stories because I really love Highlander, so there you go. Something to hold against me. But I think I read all of these. But yeah, they were just short stories about the characters in the world, and I really love the show, so I wanted to have this collection of short stories. At one point, I was really fascinated by books about science. Even though I'm really crap at science and maths myself, I'm really fascinated by it, and being a science fiction nerd, I like learning about stuff and seeing, what's possible, what theories are underpinning a lot of these ideas that I read about or I watch about in shows. And so I picked up a few books. One of them was Hyperspace by Michio Kaku. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And I really loved this book because it made the science accessible for me. So I picked up this one, and then I also picked up Parallel Worlds, which Hyperspace is all about parallel universes, time warps, and the 10th dimension. Parallel Worlds is all about the science between alternate universes and futures in space, and it has a really awesome shiny cover. I also picked up The Science of Doctor Who because, why not? Also shiny cover. I have to confess, I do love Doctor Who, but I don't actually keep up with it. I sort of watch it in bursts, and I actually did watch the Christmas special this year, which I hadn't expected to because I had no idea that it was on, but I happened to catch it on TV, so that was really interesting. And the last non-fiction book that I have is Why is Uranus Upside Down? And Other Questions About the Universe. I just like this because this was really easily accessible and has random science facts in it about space, so yes, give it to me. I happened to find my original copy of Stardust, which has the movie cover, so I have since purchased a new version of this, so I pulled this out so that I can give it to friends and lend it out and so forth. Don't need to say much about that, I've talked about that before. I also found the only copy of a John Marsden book that I owned from the Tomorrow When the War Began series, The Other Side of Dawn, which is the last book, so this is one of the original covers. And I believe, oh yes, I did get it signed. I did start rereading Tomorrow When the War Began last year, so we'll see if I continue, but I've got the last book. And because I knew I had read another Michael Pryor book, not that I can remember what it was about, but I have read it. I found Blackout, and when I read Gap Year in Ghost Town earlier this year, I kept thinking, I know I've read another Michael Pryor book, but I couldn't remember what it was. As it turns out, I've also met him previously as well, so small world. But this is something that I'll have to reread because love was way. I also found my copies of book 3 and book 4 of the Song of the Lioness Quartet, so The Woman Who Rides Like a Man and Lioness Rampant, and I've got at least one other book on my shelf here. I don't know if I've got 2, but this was my favourite of Tamora Pierce's book series, so I had to rescue these from being donated. The next 3 are books that I haven't read, but I really should at some point. So I have Under the Dome by Stephen King. This is obviously massive, but I figure I might hold on to it for Tome Topple this year. And then I have 2, I think they're Swedish crime novels that have been translated that were sent to me by a friend when she was living over there, which I never got a chance to read. So the first one is The Black Path by Asa Larson, and Let the Right One In by John Ajvilinquist. This one I've heard of, and I believe it's a film as well, but I haven't seen the film, so I don't know. And lucky last are my two favorite finds in the box, because even though I actually have these on my shelf, these were my original copies and I absolutely love them. So the first one is Contest by Matthew Riley and iStation by Matthew Riley, which still has my border stickers on it from when I used to take it into work and read it. I'm gonna have to take that off later. But yes, I'm gonna be rereading iStation this month because it is one of those books that I just have such vivid memories of picking up as a year 9 in a private girls' school library. Don't ask me why it was there. It probably shouldn't have been, because this is violent as all heck, but I love it, and it has everything I want, from military action adventure to sort of spec fic science fiction-y elements that I adore. So those are all the books that I found in the shed, and I'm going to have to find space for on my shelf, even though I don't have space for all the books that I currently own. So this is going to get interesting. Let me know in the comments, have you ever had to go through a box of old books and suddenly found something that you didn't even realize you were missing but was a favorite? Let me know in the comments. Let's have a discussion about it. I hope that wherever you're in the world, you're having a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.